Mikel Arteta's Arsenal look set not to win the Premier League again. However, I was really impressed with the performances that they've had against Spurs and Chelsea over last week. Really condensed, that compact, pretty much a 4-4-2. So today, it's a 4-4-2. It's strikerless. I'm going to give you a few variations as well. And I think one person that has been absolutely key for Arsenal not winning the Premier League this season. All right, now I think one of the big reasons is this man, Thomas Partey, has been back in and with alongside Declan Rice in that double pivot for the last 2 games. And I'm not just putting it solely down to him, but if we look at the minutes played, you can see the amount of football he's missed. He did start at the start of the season. I think he actually played right back in that first game of the season, that inverted right back thing that they tried to do and it didn't really work, and then has missed a large chunk of the season. Now it is known for him to have a really bad injury record, and I do think Arsenal, it's actually been linked this morning that they're linked to Fofana at Monaco as a little bit of a long-term replacement for him, because it has looked like it's freed up Declan Rice to be a little bit more of a box-to-box threat. So with that, I've come up with this tactic here, which is a 4-4-2. Now, Havertz and Odegaard have kind of been playing all out of possession a lot of the time. Have been playing this 4-4-2, not mid, sometimes a high press, mid-block in a 4-4-2. And I've tried other variations of it. So at first we tried to do this. I will have all the tactics as well for the patrons down in the description. For all my tactic downloads, please check out the link in the description to my Patreon, where I post all my tactic files, and you can get exclusive early access to all my FM tactics and take part in the monthly shirt giveaways. Plus, coming very soon, exclusive real life bonus football content on the channel just for the patrons from £3 a month. I will be going through all the player roles and team instructions though today, so you can follow the video and copy in this FM tactic for yourself. I will have all the tactic files for you Patreon, so don't worry, but I've done 3 versions. So there's this version here. We had this version, which is another little version. I think if Jesus plays or Nketiah, you can change it round a little bit. Or you could even change that version to a pressing forward. But the version that's seemed to have given us most success is this one here. If we look at our results, we've had a pretty decent start. Now, we are in 7th, but we have got a game in hand against Fulham that we're going to play. That will get us up into sort of like the top 4. Doing this 4-4-2, we lost away at Chelsea 1-0 and we've lost away at City 1-0. And as you can see, the 4-2-4 strikerless, or the 4-4-2 strikerless, we started here. And we've had some good wins against Newcastle, Villa, Bayern Munich, defeat to Man City, but we've just beaten Man United in the Carabao Cup. So it seems to be working pretty well. And what I wanted to try and focus on was that box midfield of the Rice, the Partey, and then the Havertz and the Odegaard, all of them force overloading that central area. So what we're going to do first, we're going to play a game against Fulham. We're going to go through it and break it down and see how it looks in the game, because people have asked for that. Me not just seeing how it looks in terms of the real life comparison tactically into the FM. They want to see it in action. So we're going to play the game against Fulham. Okay, so just going to go through it very quickly. Raya, sweeper, keeper on attack. We've got the 2 ball-playing defenders. The fullbacks have been an interesting one because they changed. The Tottenham the Tottenham passing network, as you can see, are pretty much playing as both fullbacks. I don't know if that's now going to change a little bit more because Partey and Rice are in there together. Do we need an inverted wing-back? Probably not. Depends on personnel a little bit as well. So they can have a 3-2 build-up. I've put White in as inverted fullback. I have watched him actually get round the outside and overlap. So we're going to watch him because I think people think that inverted fullback just literally stays back on defend, and that's not entirely the case. We've got the double pivot of Partey. Declan Rice is now as that volante because he does love to drive with it. He's decent at progressing the ball, but not as good as a Partey. Declan Rice, we want to see him driving up. And then the 2 wide players. Martinelli's an interesting one because I think if it was Martinelli, it would probably be an inside forward. But over the last few weeks, they've gone with a Trossard, who is a little bit more of an inverted winger. So something to think about there and tweak. Saka, we've got as an inverted winger on attack. Want him in the highest man forward. And then Odegaard and Havertz. And I will go through all the player and team instructions after we've just beaten Fulham. Now, what we've also got as well, just to tell you, now, depending on game state, depends on what Havertz and Odegaard do in the press. At Spurs at the weekend, they really went for it at the start of the game, got themselves in front of them, high turnovers. So I've got Odegaard and Havertz pressing the 2 centre-halves. So I've got them man-marking in the instructions. As the game developed, sometimes the game against Chelsea as well, they really did drop off and kind of marked the double pivot of Chelsea and allowed the two centre-halves to have the ball. So there's definitely something you can change and tweak as you go. Have these pressing higher, dropping off. If you're winning, you want to be a little bit more condensed and compact, should I say. Have them sitting off, perhaps one of them marking a defender, maybe Odegaard picking up the number 6, or both of them at times dropping off and maybe marking a double pivot like you would in a 4-2-3-1 that Chelsea tend to play. Okay, so away we go. We may change things as the game develops, in particular the role of Martinelli on that left-hand side. We may tweak him because, as I said, we're playing with that Trossard inverted winger at the moment, but I wanted to give Martinelli a go in the game. Also, if he plays, it's definitely more of an inside forward. Okay, so what we've got at the moment is we're half an hour gone. Absolutely nothing's happened. I just wanted to show you how we generally set up. So it looks like a little bit of a 4-2-4. I've just got the two wide players at the moment. They're just been responsible for their two wide players. Saka is in. Puts it wide. If you want to be a little bit more compact with it as well, by all means put these two down. And because we're playing Fulham at home, I want us to be a little bit more aggressive. But another little tweak there for you. You want to get that mid-block. You know, at the moment we're pressing really high. What you might want to do at some points is bring it down to a mid-block with a high line, stay nice and compact, have Martinelli and Saka drop into the wide areas and be a really, really solid mid-block 4-4-2. We're going to keep with it for now. So as you see now, out of possession at the moment, it looks a little bit more like a 4-4-2, which we can kind of get because obviously we know how high Saka and Martinelli will naturally get. You know, the passing networks, I think Saka was the highest in terms of pass network, receiving passes, highest player on the pitch for his average position. So what he wants is, Arteta calls it dominance, but we're looking for controlling games in terms of numbers and chances that we do not concede and trying to be a little bit more clinical down here. That's a great pass from Declan Rice. Martinelli should have scored, but that's what we're after. You know, our numbers haven't been great attacking wise. You know, Arsenal have been good attacking wise against the really bad teams in some games and been really clinical, but it's how we are doing kind of at the other end in terms of not conceding goals, not conceding chances is the thing. I think the goals against Spurs at the weekend was like the first game in like 7 away games that Arsenal had actually conceded goals. So obviously really good defence. If you want to play a little bit differently in terms of being really compact and trying to just exploit teams on the break, but being in control of games a lot more, then this nice little 4-4-2 striker list is working. I'm really enjoying as well the role of Declan Rice in the game right now, playing as that volante, getting forward. Like, he's good in that single pivot, but it is really good that they've now got Partey fit, probably a little bit too late, got Partey fit, and it's really helping now Rice be that driver and that progressor in midfield. We know how good... We've nearly scored from a corner. We know how good he is at driving with the ball, Declan Rice, not just being that sitting, holding midfielder. We have also got on for set pieces. We have got hit the near post because that's what they were exploiting at the weekend against Tottenham, getting all the big boys in at the near post. Partey, the two centre-halves were in there. Havertz was in there. I think Declan Rice was in there when Saka was taking the in-swingers from the other side. We've been in control of the game. We've not created that gilt-edged chance yet. So what we are going to do is just allow Martinelli to be that inverted, so that inside forward, to even get a little bit, see if we can stretch the player a little bit more in those wide areas. Really interested to see as well what they do in the summer. I do think they're going to go out and sign a number 9. I do still think they need a left back. You know, they've obviously got, is it Kirior and Tomiyasu as the main two at the moment? Do they want, or are they just going to go with that? And when they're playing against teams a little bit more like this, who are playing with maybe a lower block, do they then just get Zinchenko in? I think that's a change that we may look at making in a minute. Get Zinchenko on maybe as an inside, an inverted wing back on the, maybe what should we go with? Let's get Zinchenko on. Do we go attack? Let's go attack. Let's get him driving. We need to break this stubborn Fulham down. Said we've been in control of the game, look. 70% possession. We've just not managed to create that gilt-edged chance yet. And once again, what we might do, we'll see where this highlight takes us. So we're building up. We've got these finding the half spaces really well. Sitting off the defenders, which I do like. But what we might do is just change the role of Havertz. We might just put him up there as a deep line forward, just so we get a little bit as it's offside. Let's change his role. Let's put him up there as a DLF on support, so it can be a little bit higher for us, see if that helps us break Fulham down. Okay, we've won the ball. Odegaard, really good at winning the ball back in the middle of midfield. We're in, and we scored. I don't know if I'm going to put that straight down to the tactical change, but Martinelli inside forward attack. Potentially, Havertz, look, he's a little bit higher. He's occupying the 2 centre-halves a little bit now. He's going in. We've made it 2v2 there in the middle. Sorry, 3v2. Little bit of confusion. Martinelli finishing extremely well. I'm a tactical genius, so this is what you're going to do. Arsenal are very good at tweaking things from game to game. They don't have a set way of, Angie's very much play this way. Ten Hag's very play this way. And Arteta is constantly tweaking depending on personnel. The Martinelli, the Trossard. Jesus is going to be in here at some point as well. The left-back scenario, they changed what the full-backs are doing. Sometimes Ben White is very much a wing-back on support or a full-back on support. So it's for you to tweak. I've given you lots of different options as well. And I said the thing that I really wanted to create was this defensive masterclass. And at the moment, they'll probably score now. I've said that. No, it's offside. Defensive masterclass have been really hard to beat. And I said you've got the option of, let's change it. Havertz often comes off. Let's go Gabi Jesus. Let's put him as let's put him straight down the middle. And let's put him as a pressing forward and attack. So you've got this option as well. Obviously, I think Arsenal are going to go out and get that number 9, do we think? And we've scored from a set piece. Zinchenko, we are aiming at the near post. Not the guy that I'd expect to head it in at the near post, but we've got ourselves 2 goals in front. Interesting. I don't know if Arsenal are going to go for someone like a Watkins, Is that something? It doesn't look like they're going to really go in for an Osimhen. And number 9 Arsenal fans, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. So now what we're going to do is, for the last 10 minutes, we're going to bring it right back. And we're going to get a little bit more of a 4-4-2 in. So we'll still leave them as an inverted wingers on attack. We'll still give them the attack because we want a break, but we're going to just sit them back in now. And as you can see, we're really compressed. Really compact. Hard to break down. And that's exactly what Arsenal are at the moment. Obviously, when Zinchenko plays as well. So what we might do with him, even though he's come on to great effect, just put him as a inverted wing back on defend. We don't need him to go forward a lot now. Good save by Raya. So it's about tweaking things mid-game. Arsenal have got so many tweaks. They've got players like Rowe to bring in. They could bring Havertz back as an 8 and take off Partey and just go with Rice in there. Loads of different options. And it's really nice as well to play the game differently. I'm just plugging in this tactic and just playing. Arsenal are so good at changing things mid-game. So I would recommend, you don't have to play with Arsenal, but give it a go and try and tweak things accordingly during game. I think a lot of us get guilty of just plugging in one tactic. It doesn't work. And then just making some substitutions. Hopefully that will be offside because we want a clean sheet in stoppage time. Yeah, offside. No problem. And as well, when we're in the late cycle of a game, it's good to play it differently. A lot of us have been playing 4-3-3s and 4-2-3-1s and stuff like that. So it'd be interesting to know your thoughts down in the comments, guys, if this is something that you've been trying to do, like an Arteta. A little bit pragmatic. Obviously, he calls it dominate. It's control, isn't it? But he likes the word dominate because I think that control word is kind of linked to Jose a little bit. So he wants dominate. There you go. They've had 5 shots. Only 2 on target with an XG of 0.19. Only 30% of the ball. We've had 70%. We've managed to get an XG of 1.44. Couple of tweaks helped us win as the game and getting one of those key set pieces. Right, how does it look in the game? Okay, so this is how I've set it up. So David Raya, sweeper keeper on attack, no player instructions. Ben White, as we've spoke about, it needs to change, I think, depending on game state as well, depending on what you're doing with the middle. If you're taking maybe a Partey out and you're playing with a single pivot, then you might need to bring in a White as an inverted fullback. That definitely is there for you to change. I've had him in this game, inverted fullback. 2 defenders, Saliba, Gabriel, ball-playing defenders on defend. With Tomiyasu, just a fullback on support, but with the instruction of sit narrow. Often likes to work in this sort of like half space channel a little bit. Once again, depending on personnel, depending on, if Kyriel plays, it could be that he is the inverted fullback and then maybe look at having Ben White as a fullback on support. So there's your options there. Thomas Partey, central deep line playmaker, no player instructions on defend for him just to sit and create and progress with the ball, passing from deep. Volante, get further forward because we love Declan Rice. I love it when he drives into the thirds, drives into that penalty area. So we've got him as a Volante on support with the player instructions, get further forward. Saka on that right-hand side. You could even do winger, but because of that compactness that I want without the ball, it would help if he's an inverted winger starting slightly narrow. You could probably go wing on attack as well with then that player instruction of cut inside if you wanted to change it to a winger. Odegaard, we've gone, this is a difficult one because he kind of roams like a playmaker, so I would probably put that one on as well. So roam from position, close down more because he's a superb presser. Mark tighter as well because I really want us to push their two centre-halves and mark specific position. We've got him marking their left centre-half. Flip over to Havertz. I think once again, mark tighter would be good on. Potentially roam from position with then marking the opposite in terms of the right centre-back. So Havertz, roam from position, mark tighter, mark the right centre-half. And then the Trossard one, stay wider to give us that little bit of a width, little bit more of width. But I don't know, Martinelli is probably an inside forward. You've got options there of Trossard on the left-hand side. Jesus has played out on that left-hand side as well recently. So you could go inside forward on attack. I will do that one as well. I will put that one in for you where you've got the Havertz playing as a DLF. And then the third option, you've also got this tactic with then that probably been a Jesus as the pressing forward on attack. Right, into the team instructions. Positive mentality, fairly wide attacking width with play out of defence, slightly shorter passing. They're not absolutely crazy in terms of, quite happy at times to give possession up. Did it a lot against our Tottenham as well. Tottenham dominated the possession, but I think that was once again down to game state and having to sit back. And they do like to exploit a little bit. And I don't want it to be an overly pass. They do like to get the ball forward to Havertz quickly, get the ball out wide. So I've just got slightly shorter on with slightly higher tempo. In transition, counter-pressing, yes, they're not massive on terms of counter-attacking, so I've left that off, but you will naturally get that anyway with the players, especially because you've got the players on attack. Distribute the ball to the centre-halves with take shot kick, because Raya likes to play out from the back. With him on attack as well, we'll still get them long passes when necessary. Out of possession, now this is where you can change again if you're wanting to sit back in that 4-4-2 like we did for the last 10 minutes against Fulham. I would drop it, higher line, and a mid-block. So once again, that makes you really compact. However, to start with, Arsenal do like to press teams and have a really energetic start, get themselves in front early on. So higher line, high press with step up more on. As well as what you could do as well, trap outside, and that allows the team to get really compact, and that will help work the ball across. I think with the Spurs tactic at the weekend, they basically tried to shuffle the ball across to the left centre-half in Van der Ven and really shuffled across and really tight and compact. Tight marking, really key at times from Thomas Partey and Declan Rice. So those are other tweaks you could do. All right, that is the Arteta 4-4-2 strikerless. Go check it out. Really interesting, different way to play it in FM. Patrons, the tactics are all three are now available for you down below. Thank you very much for watching the channel. Check out the other videos. See you later.